and visionaries. Welcome to another Monday Night Live training, where your journey to business success accelerates. Join us for insights, strategies, and tools to elevate your business while keeping your budget in mind. It's time to transform your passion into profit. Your host, Corey Fonville Foster, is about to take the stage. Get ready to be inspired and empowered. The future of your business starts now.
All right. Hello. Welcome to another Monday Night Live. I believe this is our second Monday Night Live in September. So we're doing well. We're chugging along here through the year. If this is your first time, hello. I'm Corey Fonville Foster. I am a speaker, trainer. I'm a certified business coach specializing in implementation. I'm all about business owners just getting things done in their business. So many people get frustrated, right, with why things aren't panning out. They feel super busy, but they're not seeing the results of their effort. And oftentimes it's literally just because they don't know what to execute, or they're not really executing at all. We're just going to call a spade a spade. And so that is what I love to do. That is what I'm about. I am very much like, we all have lived experiences that affect how we are able to execute within our business. We all have circumstances, right? Not everybody comes from money. Not everybody has access to capital. Not everybody has certain skill sets. Not everybody has a degree. There's always something, right? And as a woman who came into business without having a lot of business skills, as a woman who came into business without having any really extra funds, who came into business with not good credit, no degrees in what I actually do for a business, just kind of learning along the way. And as being someone who is legally blind and chronically disabled, when I tell you I get it. And so my passion is really supporting business owners where they are and really helping them get to where they want to go through implementation within their business. Outside of that, I'm also the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions, which is a small business marketing firm based here out of Virginia, but we service amazing coaches, consultants, speakers, and authors, among other amazing business owners from coast to coast and up into Canada. So if you are someone who falls into any of those categories and you are looking for motivation, if you're looking for tools, if you're looking for strategy, if you're looking for support, if you're looking for accountability, you are in the right place. Every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch me here wherever you're watching from, whether it is Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's YouTube, whether it's in the portal. We are here to support you, rain, shine, sickness, or health. We are here because we want to make sure that you get what you need to succeed in your business. All right, and I'm trying to pump my own energy up, guys. Look, I'm sitting over here struggling. Let me take a sip of water. I've had a migraine for like the last 5 hours, but I told you, sickness or health. We're medicated, we're hydrated. Let's get it. Let's go. Few announcements before we get started, because we have a really cool topic today. I won't be with you guys too long. So this is your time to grab a pencil and paper. If you need to take some notes, remember, you can always watch the replay of this as well. I always tell people, watch the replay on YouTube, like get those numbers up there for me. But before we dive into the main topic today, we're going to go through a few upcoming things that I want to share with you. One, if you are a speaker who speaks on business strategy, tools, things of that nature, mindset, wellness around business, we have an event coming up in October, and we are just a few days away from closing our call for speakers. Let me change the background. There we go. Make it look a little better for you guys. Now make it, see if I can make it. There we go. That's a little better. But definitely feel free, grab the link, use the QR code. Our spots are filling up fast. We have a couple of spots left. And also, let me mention this, applying does not guarantee a speaking spot. But please do, if you think you have a gift, something to share, with coaches, women coaches and consultants around business implementation, please do sign up. I think some people count themselves out early, right? You're an expert, but maybe you haven't done a lot of speaking before. So you're like, oh, I don't know. Like, this is the time to apply. We are really looking for specific things. I've been getting a lot of DMs asking me like, hey, can I do this topic? Can I do that topic? Guys, shoot your shot. Go ahead, apply. We will be sending out our final confirmation list before week's end because we want you guys to have plenty of time to prepare. We want to make sure we put a lot of marketing attention to this event. It's going to be great. I told some people in DMs today who were asking a few questions. I was like, we actually did a summit a couple of years ago. People may not remember it. I don't remember what it was called. It's probably like iRock Business Summit or something like that. But we had over 300 people register. It was amazing. I think it was 2 or 3 days. It was virtual. It was so cool. And since then, we've done a lot of amazing events for other people. Like we've done stuff for clients that have been in person, been virtual. Some stuff has been pre-recorded. Some stuff has been live, all over in different states. It's been really amazing. And we kind of put iRock events to the back burner for a little bit. And I was like, we're bringing this back, y'all. So this is going to be kind of our kickoff. I have a lot more ideas of more events. I'm really considering bringing back our masterclass series. That was amazing. We're going to have some more podcast episodes drop for you guys because I realize that you guys are hungry for information and we want to make sure that it is there available to you. Just keep in mind, if you do apply, these sessions have to be implementation focused. When you go to the link, you'll see what we mean by that. You get a 40-minute speaking spot, but within that, there has to be audience takeaways that are implementation focused, meaning you can't just go up there and make people feel all great and cozy and excited if they don't have things to implement within their business. Because we want to move people from where they are to where they want to be, and we can only do that through implementation. So definitely, like I said, shoot your shot. I'm giving a little extra time to talk. So in case you're like, oh, snap, let me screenshot that. Go ahead. Also, of course, you can go back and find the replay. You can always DM me and ask me for the link. No worries. But remember, Call for Speakers closes soon. When it closes, please do not hit me up and say, hey, I missed it, but can I? Or I thought I was, because there's always going to be that person. People are like, oh, yeah, I'm going to apply. Give me a couple days. And then they forget, and then they come back and we're like, we're full. We have a specific number of spots. Everybody is probably not going to make the roster this time around, but please do apply. And oftentimes too, just as someone who is in the background of a lot of other people's businesses when it comes to Call for Speakers, sometimes you may not book the main event, but a lot of times I'll pin people for clients and say, hey, this person may not have been a great fit for this event, but we got some other events we haven't even marketed yet that they'd be great for, or they'd be great for the podcast, or they would be great for this or that. And so shoot your shot, try to stay on theme, but realize that just because one opportunity that is current may not be for you doesn't mean that no opportunity is right for you. That's for somebody who I apply to speak places. And like I said, I'm on the back end, also going through other client speaker inquiries as well. So again, shoot your shot there. Also, if you are in the Maryland area this weekend, I believe it is, come on out. I'm going to be in Maryland. I'm on a panel. And this is going to be a great event for women, whether you're a business or you're just a woman in life, to come get some motivation, get some networking, get some encouragement. Let some people speak to your soul, speak to your heart, get fed physically and emotionally. It's going to be really great. I have been really excited about being a part of this event. I've been following Leslie and been in kind of her sphere. She's the host of this amazing event. For a couple years now, and I was like, girl, the next event, like, don't forget about your girl, because I've been wanting to just be a part of this amazing community that she's building of just powerful women doing their daggone thing. So again, if you're in the Maryland area, I believe there's a few tickets available. Do not wait to the weekend, because I think there are only like a couple, like single digits left. This is an in-person event. It is not hybrid. There is no replay. You must be in the building. But even if you're in VA, which is where I'm from, it's worth the drive up north. Get you a little hotel room, make a weekend of it. They're having a neon party. They're doing dinners. There's lunches. There's so many amazing speakers. Some are flying in. And these are showstoppers. Like, one of the speakers is somebody that I would like pay good money just to speak to him. You know what I mean? So there's some really like knockout people. up here. Some people that I've actually worked with in past years. You might recognize a few faces. I was like, oh snap. We used to kick it back in the day. So she has an amazing lineup, an amazing mission, and she only executes with excellence. And so you will not be let down if you grab a ticket. All right, so that's on the screen there for you. Let's go ahead and dive into the material for today. I feel look, I'm feeling a little better. Also, if you're watching live or you're watching replay, feel free to engage. I love seeing the comments. I know I always tell people I get more DMs than anything, but y'all feel free to put some comments out. Everybody wants to be so private. I'm like, this could have been a comment. This ain't got to be a DM. And oftentimes too, you'll get me faster as a reply if you comment versus if you shoot a DM. So engage with your girl. All right. Anywho. Let's go ahead and dive into the material. So today we're going to be talking more about products and services. Last week we talked about kind of thinking about your product suite, right? Having different products at different levels to ensure that people who are ready to engage with you at that level can. So just having free things, low cost things, mid-tier, high ticket, kind of exclusive one-on-one things. And this is really important, especially for my coaches and consultants. A lot of times we only want to focus on one area or the other. And oftentimes we're missing out on a lot of clientele because we don't have enough variety. We also talked about the fact that it could be a product suite that kind of levels up, right? So maybe there's like a starting point, and as the client grows and kind of gets their wins at each level, they then kind of graduate to the next level. Or you could just be teaching the same kind of, however many pillars, right? So there's the same kind of A to B for all of your offers, but there's more detail, there's more support, there's more hand holding, there's more templates and scripts and what have you as they go up in levels as far as their investment is concerned. So we discussed that quite a bit. If you're like, ooh, I want to know about that, go to last week's video where we talked about it in detail. But today we're going to be talking about packaging and pricing services for maximum appeal. I get a lot of questions from clients about pricing. Tonight, we're not going to go into all the pricing models. Guys, also, Google is real. I'm going to just say that. Let's be real. When y'all be asking about pricing, before you ask your coach or anybody, do a quick Google search, because a quick Google search of just the words pricing models will give you tons of information to at least have a little bit of knowledge of your options, right? Because when people come to me and they're like, hey, I got this product, how much should I charge? I'm like, wait a minute. Now there's some things we got to discuss first. It's not as cut and dry as one may think. Of course, there are some kind of like industry standards, but there's a lot of things that factor into pricing. And so we're not going to go into detail today. I usually do at least one talk about that every year. And then I go in a lot more detail with clients about that as well. But tonight we're talking more about the understanding of like why we should be packaging, pricing, pricing our services a certain way, bundling, things of that nature. All right, so the three things we're going to cover tonight is I'm going to show you how bundling the right services makes your offers more attractive, right? Because some of you are scrapping offers like every other day because they're not selling, but it might be because you're not bundling. I'm going to teach you the key elements that should influence how you price your services. Again, we're not going to go deep into pricing models, and I'm going to keep saying the words because I want you to Google it because there are literally a ton. But I'm going to talk to you about a few. Also, I'm going to help you build perceived value so clients feel like you offer the right decision, not just an option, right? A lot of people are kind of looking around like, okay, I have this issue. Who can solve it? I want people to feel like you're the only choice, not one of the many options. All right, so we're going to dive into that. As you know, I like to always start with a question. So the first question of the day, and let me adjust my screen real fast. When your girl has a migraine, we always got to make some tech adjustments. All right, that's a little better. All right, so have you ever looked at your offer and thought, this is so good, like why are people not buying it? And I think most business owners have probably thought that, like, man, you first of all, you'd be like, oh, this is gonna be fire right here, they're gonna be jumping on it. And then it's like cricket, and you're like, well, why aren't they buying it? Like, why Is there like, where is the disconnect? Because I know they need it. I made it because they wanted it, especially if you made it because they asked for it, but they're still not buying it. You're like, what the heck? Right? But really, sometimes the issue isn't the service, it isn't the product, it's how you package and price it, and how you are presenting it to the world, right? If your offer feels confusing, if it feels overwhelming, if it feels misaligned in any way, that may make your audience stop and pause and say, I don't know if this is for me, and that's going to really hurt your conversion rate. Even if the product is even if it's absolutely amazing. And so we have to understand that. I'm always telling clients, like, before we go and just scrap stuff, let's look at it a little bit more. Let's dive in. Let's pull back the layers, because we may be just missing a little piece here or there. It may not be that the whole offer is wrong. All right. So tonight we're going to really dive into that. And we're going to make sure that your offer feels like the perfect fit for the people you want to serve. Okay. All right. So let's dive in. So first, why does packaging matter? There's three kind of things I want to cover when it comes to packaging. And when I say packaging, I don't mean like the container it comes in. I used to be a product-based business. Back in the day, my first business was called iRock Mind, Body, and Soul. And I was a product-based business, meaning I made the products, I had to package it in something, right? And then sell it as a physical product. Now I do not. I'm trying to think, do I have any? Not really. Everything's virtual or like a service-based type of thing. So we're not talking physical packaging. We're not going to talk about like putting it in a box, putting it in plastic, finding vendors for that. Like, that's not the tea we're talking. We're talking about how you actually put this service package situation together. All right. So first of all, clients don't want 7, 8, 10, 12 deliverables. They want a transformation, right? They want to win. They want an A to B. And oftentimes you guys are stuck because you are thinking about how many cool things you can stick in something, right? So you have this offer. It's called the amazing offer, right? And in this amazing offer, there's 12 deliverables. And it's like, who needs that? Most of your clients have one big issue that they're facing, and they want that problem solved. Right? They want that transformation. They want to go from pain to pleasure in that particular area. And so if you are sitting here focusing on all the little cute things that you can squish into this offer, I want to really have you pause and say, what is the minimum amount of things they need to get from point A to point B? Because that's also something clients really struggle with, is like when to stop throwing stuff in there. What is the minimum amount of things people need to get from point A to point B? That is your starting point. Because if I am someone that is looking like I'm being kept up at night, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I'm worried, I'm sad, I'm depressed, whatever the case may be, because I want this problem solved, I would like to get there as quick as possible with the least amount of friction. If you give me too many things, I'm gonna feel like before I even start that it's already too much, right? If I want to learn to tie my shoes, I would love a quick, maybe there's a song that could get me to learn to tie my shoes, right? I would like that over, we're going to give you some shoes to play with. We're going to give you some hand motions to practice. We're going to give you some colorful shoestrings. We're going to give you whatever, like all the little things. It's like, if a song can fix it, can I just have a song? You know what I mean? I might pay a lot for that song. And I'll give you a real example of that. I had a kiddo who really struggled with multiplication. We had tried like multiplication books. We tried curriculums, all kind of things. There was a company called The Good and the Beautiful. I'll shout them out. I don't mind. That came out with things called musical multiplication. It came with this little box. It was about this big. It had 4 little spiral bound little booklets, and I mean it was like it was tiny, and in that there were a few pictures, and it also had the math problem, and it came with the audio file that played the songs. And the way you did it was you would play the song with the words and you would sing along, then you would play the song some more with the words and sing along, and then you would play the song without words and sing it. And then you would show your kid just the picture. They would remember the song and they would have it. Boom. That was it. We got the box with the 4 little things in it with a couple of pages each and an audio file. I don't remember how much it cost. It wasn't a lot. It solved the problem. Way better than the manipulatives, the charts, the worksheets, and all the things. It gave me what I needed. And so some of you are making this way more complicated than it has to be. People will still pay good money, even if it doesn't have a ton of things, if it works. All right. Think about also how you present your offer determines how it is perceived. Some of you just, for lack of a better word, suck at presenting your offers, right? I don't need to know as the consumer your whole backstory. Sometimes for an offer, sometimes, it depends where, the setting, right? Maybe you're speaking from the stage, you're selling a high ticket. Maybe you want to give me a little backstory. But some of you will give me a long elevator pitch plus why you did it, how you created it, how long it took, all the thought processes behind it. I'm like, what is this again? How does this work? And I've actually told people like, we got to get that shortened. like I don't need all that information. And sometimes that is very off-putting to an audience. So how you present the offer is a big piece. Some of you just need to work on being better salespeople and really spend a little time kind of honing your sales craft, so that you are not presenting your offer in a way that is not digestible or easily digestible by your audience. And that doesn't always have to be verbal. It can be verbal. It can be written, right? It could be even like you're thinking, oh, why are my friends and family not sharing what I do? It may be that you haven't taught them, right? They have no clue. I asked my husband recently, I was like, you know what I do? He's like, yeah. He's telling me, I was like, okay, that's close enough. Sometimes I worry, like, because he's always saying, oh, I tell people what you do at work all the time. I'm like, what you be telling these people? Because I was like, I don't work with everybody. He's like, I'm gonna tell this person, no, that ain't my client. So sometimes you also have to make sure the people who are out here speaking for you, right, your biggest referral, your affiliates, also understand how to present your offer as well, because that can also kind of muddy the waters of how people are perceiving what you do, because you may not be the most outgoing, in your face type person when it comes to sales. You may have other people supporting you, and that's okay. But they got to also know, like, what are we talking about? What is this thing? How to present it correctly? And I'm not saying you got to sit your family down and put them through a whole slideshow of how to do it. But sometimes it's just explaining it in the way that you would want them to present it and making it as simple as possible. And really, again, thinking about the transformation over the features. Because if you think your family's going to remember all the little things that are encompassed in your business, they're not. If you give them what you do as far as transformation is concerned, they'll be great. So for my family, it's like, hey, she is a coach that helps people actually get stuff done in their business. Cool. If you tell them that and they're interested, we can get on a call. We can take care of the rest. But if you tell them, oh yeah, she does workshops, and she does this, it's like, okay, that's a lot. What was this? She helps people get things done in her business. The last thing, right? Remember, clarity and simplicity equals confidence and conversions. And I'll say it again. Clarity and simplicity equals confidence and conversions. Some of you are not being clear and you are being way too complex, trying to make stuff sound cool. I always think about people who be like, oh, will you come to this meeting or will you come to this Zoom? And you're like, what is the thing? Why am I coming to this? And they don't ever want to tell you all the details. They always want to make it like a mystery. And then you get on the call and the first like 15, 30 minutes of this call, you still don't exactly know what it is. And then they finally tell you, and you're like, what in the world? Like, why am I here, right? And you're not going to convert. Why? Because they made it way too complex for no reason. Things were not clear. And I always tell people that know me, because I don't mind people trying to get me to, buy things they sell. But I'm like, yo, just be honest, be upfront, tell me, because if not, you're gonna waste your time, because I'm still not gonna buy if you make me sit through something. And if you get me to sit through something once, you'll never get me to sit through something again, especially if you do that. So I'm like, just tell me, right? If you sell Mary Kay, like, just say, hey, I sell Mary Kay. You want to buy something? Here's the catalog. Here's the link. I probably will buy something to support you. But if you make me get on a call because you want me to invest in Bitcoin, that'd be the last call I sit on. So some of you are doing that. You're trying to be a little mysterious. Some of you are trying to, go a roundabout way to see if they're interested. Guys, shoot, just tell them the honest truth, clarity, simplicity, right? That's going to give you more confidence, but also let your audience have more confidence in your product or service. And that's going to increase your conversions as well. All right. And I want to leave you with this little note for this section of the talk. A confused mind doesn't buy, and a scattered offer doesn't sell. Right? Because again, if they don't understand what your offer is and how it helps them, they're not going to buy. And if it's all over the place, right? Because you got a whole bunch of things you just shoved into this offer, it's not going to sell either. All right, so let's talk a little bit about bundling as I take a little sip of water, because I am so dry. It's not even funny. Yo, I tell people all the time, like, I'm a real person. Like, these talks are not meant to be like perfectly poised. If I wanted that, I would pre-record it and I'd have on makeup and be all cute. These are down to earth. You can get the raw version of me, and the raw version of me today is dry. So we're gonna stay hydrated. All right, so bundling for your clients' needs. All right, so again, remember, solve one big problem in each kind of package or offer that you have. And I know a lot of you are like, well, I got all these things I want to help them with. Great, have more offers, right? And I wouldn't try to sell all the offers at the same time. Like, pick a month, pick a season, pick a quarter, pick a time of the year to focus on each one. But remember, your goal when you are trying to sell to someone is to solve just one big problem that they're having per offer. And it doesn't have to be a small problem. Like, please, solve a big problem for people, right? If you're a sales expert, solve their whole issue with sales. That might include automation, that might include communication, that might include some other pieces. But the audience that you are serving, their big issue is they suck at sales. They want more sales, right? So I'm not saying it has to be something small. You have a whole bunch of small offers. No, but just make sure that whatever the offer is, big or small, solves one big problem your client is having. And it needs to be your target audience, not like, oh, well, one person bought this once upon a time, so now I have this offer as well. Like, no, like, what if you have your target audience? I always say dwindle it all the way down to a name, right? My target audience name is Dakota. I know everything there is to know about her, right? I know where she shops. I know what keeps her up at night. I know how old she is. I know what she does for fun. I know all her business, right? So when I create something, I create it with her in mind, not a ton of people in mind, her. Now, if somebody else likes it, then cool. Of course, they can enjoy it, but it's made for her. And a lot of you are making things for multiple people. You should be making it for one. All right. Also, group services that flow naturally or support the same goal. So again, cool, bundle some things together. Again, we don't need 1,000 things just to say we have 1,000 things. Make sure that the things you include are a part of the process. Remember what I said, what's the minimum amount of things we need to get the job done. And even if you have bonuses and things, they should still go towards that core issue, or possibly like a half step up. So maybe the bonus is like getting them primed for the next offer, but it shouldn't be just like throwaway things like, oh, I got this laying in the back, let me throw that in as well. Oh, I got that over here, let me throw that in as well. Not necessary. And again, now we're a little bit confused. We're not sure why it's there. Maybe this offer isn't for me, right? And then use tiers when necessary. So you can explain when you're presenting it to the audience that this is like an entry or a core or a premium. This is a start, a grow, a scale. So people understand kind of where they are in the process, right? So if you are creating kind of a value suite, but it all solves the same problem, or it is like a level, then a next level, like as they grow in that area, just make sure they understand, because some people may want to be in some things. They're like, oh, I really want to be in this, but they really aren't the best candidate for it. Explain to them where they are and that eventually they can get there. It's nothing worse than being in a program that you are not ready for. I've seen this happen time and time again, where people will get into coaching programs because they like the coach. They're like, oh, I've been watching this coach. I like them. They see flashy houses and cars and planes, and they're like, I want to live this life. They hear, the pitch like, oh, you could be selling all this, all these products. And they're like, cool. They get in only to find that the only way they can really be successful in the program is if they have, $100,000 a year to put towards ads, that they have a team that can, do all this extra work that they don't have time for, that they can be able to go to all these in-person events all over the country. Like if they are not in that place, they are not going to be successful, right? But you want to be there, right? You're like, but I wanted to be there, but you're not qualified to be there just yet, and that's okay. Let's start you here, so then as you grow, you'll be ready for that. And sometimes that's a hard conversation to have with clients, but also being an ethical entrepreneur, which I know if you're watching this, you are, like that's stuff you need to say. I myself have got one good time and gotten a program that I shouldn't have been in. But it was messaged to me. But when I got in there, I realized I should not be here, but now we're here. I tried to make the best of it. But I realized like, no, not absolutely not. And then like I said, I've been in programs where I've been in groups and I'm like, dang. Like these people ain't even they just got a business name. They don't got a website. They don't have no offers together. And the coaches in here being like, oh yeah, this works really great. Just go, have your team make an ad, put about, 100, put it, no less than $100 a week in there, do this, do that. And they're like, they don't have the money. They ain't got the team. They don't know how. Like, gotta be frustrating, right? And then you feel behind everybody else. And that doesn't help your confidence either. Right. And I'm speaking to this about business because I've been on a lot of business types of programs. And like I said, it never fails that people are in there that you already know from jump, they're probably not going to be that successful. They're going to have to do this program a couple times. They're going to have to figure something out. They're probably going to drop off. Right. Some of them may even close their businesses because they are just that distraught from feeling like they're just miles behind everyone else. So just again, in your communication, express to your clientele where they should be, where they should start. And then you can, of course, tell them the endpoint so they know what's possible. Excuse me. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about pricing factors, right? Because again, I tell you, that's my favorite conversation to have with people is pricing. I don't mind it. I don't want to make it seem like I'm just like, ugh, to it. I don't mind it, but I do get frustrated when people just want a flat price from me versus understanding that there are factors that are involved. So a few things I'm gonna keep it real simple tonight. Again, Google pricing models, right? And I gotta look and see when that talk is. So I can like really push it out and be like, hey, this is the talk y'all wanted. But anyway, when you're thinking about your offer, consider your time, consider your experience, consider the transformation that you are giving, especially as coaches. I know oftentimes it can be hard to price because you're like, well, I'm only giving them 8 weeks of 1 hour sessions, right? And so you're like, well, how much really should that be? I've had somebody break down the cost of my offer one time to me. Like, do you realize you're charging this much per, I've had it for my coaching side, but I also have had it a lot more for the marketing. They're like, this is how much you're charging me for per post. I was like, well, I'm actually not charging you that much per post. I'm charging you that much because you're not having to think about what we're writing. We are understanding your brand for you. We are doing all the research. We are writing all the content. We are creating all the graphics. We are posting all the things for you. So it's really not, oh, we're just creating a graphic and throwing it on the web, right? There's a lot more things that go into it. It's also our expertise and things like that going in. And so people will do that. They'll ask you for like an hourly rate. And it's just like, that's not how it even works. So I want you to consider your time, right? And if you do have a team, your team's time. How much time does it take you to develop this product? And not even just like to deliver it, right? Say you're a coach. You had to think about this offer, right? You had to put together the marketing for it. You had to put together the content. You may have to record sessions. You may have to put some things into your system. You may have to put things into your CRM, all kind of stuff. Consider the time it took you to get from idea to product launch. Think about how much time it takes you to deliver, right? Because as a coach, even if you're on for an hour, it doesn't mean that doesn't include your prep time. It doesn't include your recap time, like none of that. So just keep that in mind. Consider your experience. This is a big one for me when I deal with newer coaches and consultants. Oftentimes, you guys are coming into the game as new business owners, right? But you have been doing what you've been doing for decades, right? And different, especially my ed consultants. Oh my gosh, for you guys, you're like, well, I'm new. It's like, but you've been a teacher or admin or a combination of the two for 20 years. You've been teacher of the year. You've been creating curriculum for the school system. Like, you've been doing all this stuff for decades. You are not new. Just because you just got your EIN and just put together your website does not mean you're new. You are not making base salary money. You can charge people based on your expertise, right? Some of you have PhDs and all these degrees. Yeah, you can charge more, right? So yes, do not leave any experiences behind. That can all go into your creating your pricing models. And then also transformation is important. People get real upset, right? And I'm talking about people who are purchasing because certain things cost a lot, right? And it's it's so wild to me because people will come into your program. Let's say I deal with people who have businesses. They will come into your program needing you to solve a problem that can help them make thousands of dollars, but they will want to pay you nickels and dimes. That is so wild to me, especially because I'm helping people create the things that I sell. You know what I mean? For instance, so it's like, okay, you want me to help you create a course. Cool. But you want to pay me $500 or less for this course to be created. But then you talk to me about how you want to sell your course for $1,500 a piece. Make that make sense, y'all. You know what I mean? You don't want to purchase my course for $500 because you're like, oh my God, that's a lot. But you want to sell your course for $1,500 because I'm training you how to make it in my course. Make it make sense. I have this thing that I always have to remind. Sorry if I got to sneeze. My clients about is don't be afraid to invest at the level you want to receive. If you have never purchased a $10,000 offer, one, it's going to be real hard for you to sell a $10,000 offer, but you may not have no clue what a $10,000 offer looks like, right? You may not have any clue what an intensive looks like. You may have no clue what a VIP day looks like. You have it in theory, right? You might have seen somebody else's flyer or graphic telling you what was included, but you don't know what that feels like, looks like, the level in which that has to be delivered to ask for those rates. And that's what I said. A lot of times you're feeling unprepared to sell it. It's like you have to be willing to do that. If you were thinking you're going to get a 10K plus return on something, then you probably need to invest close to 10K in it, right? If you think it's something's going to save you a ton of time, make you a ton of money, realize that's going to be a higher ticket price for you. And then you can explain that as you go with your folks. So just kind of keep that in mind, because I don't know why people think that the transformation isn't a part of the pricing. Yes. If what I'm telling you is going to give you a big return, then it's probably going to be a level of investment in there that you're going to have to go in. Okay. All right. Let's talk about a little bit more about pricing. So higher prices can signal higher value, but only if the messaging backs it up. So some of you are doing kind of the reverse, right? Some of you are scared to put a high ticket, a high price on something, and others of you are just throwing it up there, but have nothing to back it up. You're like, I want it. I've had clients do that, and they're like, I'm gonna charge this much, and I'm like, okay, you sure? Like, you ain't never did this before. You ain't worked out no kinks. You ain't sold it to nobody yet. I'm like, you realize you could always start a little lower, and then as you get into this thing a little bit, you can raise the price. I don't care if you raise the price after every client you have. But some of you are really jumping and you may not be ready to. Now, I will say there may be mixed reviews on that. Some people may say, well, no, you should be able to charge it regardless. But again, I'm all about ethicalness. I'm gonna use the word. I don't know if it's real, but ethicalness. And again, if you have not done this thing before, you may want to lower it a little bit. I'm not saying like give it away for free, make it cheap. I'm saying that when you think about an offer, right, when you do your market research, there's going to be people at the low end, mid, high of the exact same pretty much offer, right? Got the same stuff, nothing different. Here we go. If you are newer to the game, meaning like me, I was self-taught, right? You need to be close to that lower end. I just feel that way in my heart. Not saying again that it needs to be cheap, but you shouldn't be pricing like you've had those years of experience, that you've had the results already. Because thinking you got results is not the same as getting those results. So there's a little bit of understanding of where you are as a business owner as well in that. But if you gonna go for them, if you gonna hit them up like that and be charging a lot, make sure that your messaging, your expertise, and everything else is backed up by that, right? If you're gonna charge me a whole bunch, we shouldn't be going back and forth in email about when to book, right? Like how to do the stuff. Oh, you shouldn't be like, hey, send me a Cash App. Absolutely not for no $1,000 offers. You should have a CRM system in place. You should have a link so I can schedule a meeting, right? It's not just about you being able to deliver the offer. It's also about the process to get there, right? I should be able to, if you have a course and you charge me a lot, there should be a way to put in a support ticket, customer service. I don't care if you're the real person doing it, but there should be a way to do that, right? I shouldn't be watching your course on YouTube. There should be a platform where I can log in at. Right, that's not asking too much. It's just about professionalism. When you start charging certain prices, I expect a little level of a professional flow of your business. Okay, let's talk about this too. Pricing needs to keep your goal in mind. When you think about pricing, a lot of times I tell my clients work backwards. You probably have a number in your head of how much you need to make. Right. Sometimes it's because you need to cover the cost of delivering. Sometimes it's because you need to pay your rent, whatever it is, whatever your financial goal is, you need to keep that in mind and then work backwards and say, okay, if this is the goal and this is how much I probably, if you've been selling for a while, you might have more data to say, well, this is, my conversion rate. This is, how much marketing I know has to go into acquiring one client, and this how much that cost me. Like, you have some data to be like, okay, if these are all the factors, then I know I need to charge these this much to have this profit margin to get to my goal. And I know that can be a lot, and that's why when you work with a coach, there's a little bit more conversation that happens. But when you work with your goal in mind, that end goal, it's a lot easier to come up with a number and feel comfortable because you're not going to end up in the hole. I remember when I not even first started, but probably my first couple of years in business, when people would be like, oh, I ain't make no money, when I, my first however many years in business, I was like, that's wild to me, right? I'm not going to set myself up to fail. I'm not going to overextend myself like that. That was never my motto. That's not something I teach my clients. I'm like, yeah, if I ain't got the money, it's not going into the business, right? And so if you do it like that, you should always come out profitable. If you got that end goal in mind, you should never come out in the hole. No, I shouldn't say profitable. You shouldn't come out in the red, right? My first year in business, again, I was self-taught. I was trying to figure things out. I had a product-based business. I was selling like soaps and bath bombs, stuff like that. I think I made about $11,000 first year, right? But there have been people I've talked to that have been like the first 5 years in business, they make nothing. That's wild to me. Right. And I'm not saying you got to make a lot, but I don't think I've ever been in the red in all the years I've ever done business. Just haven't. Some years have been better than others, but yeah, not the red, not the red. All right. So make sure you're pricing your offers with the goal in mind, not just putting a price out and then kind of trying to figure it out at the end of like, how are you going to stay afloat? Ooh, excuse me. All right, let me give you a few bonus tips and then we're going to hop off here because I said I wasn't going to be with you that long and we've been up here a while. All right, couple things real quick. And this is just all around kind of building up some value, like perceived value, because oftentimes if people feel like it's worth a lot, they're not going to fight you on the price. They're going to be ready to buy. So yes, you can add bonuses, but make sure they're directly supporting the main offer. Talked about that already. Make sure you're using client language in your titles and your descriptions and your marketing, because if people hear themselves in that, they're more likely to convert. And then don't be afraid to explain the results, not the process. Again, we don't care how this came to be. We don't care about what it takes to go through it. For the most part, we care about the transformation. We care about the result, me getting from A to B. If you focus on those three things, right? Adding the bonuses that directly support the main offer, using their language when you refer to the offer, and then explain the results over the process with the features, this is also going to increase your conversion rate. So what is your challenge for this week? I want you to pick one current offer. If you don't have an offer, create one, right? One offer, review the structure, the pricing, and how it is currently being perceived by your audience. If you don't know, ask them. ask your current audience, your prospective audience, say, hey, can I ask you a quick question? Like you can literally go on LinkedIn and say, hey, I got this offer. Just want to know your thoughts because you would be my ideal client if you would just take a moment, give me some feedback. And then adjust at least one thing to better reflect your client's needs and desired outcomes, and then push it back out to market. That's it. That's your challenge, right? And if you feel from this conversation like one, that you're a little overwhelmed, you're like, well, that was a lot. Or you're like, I need a little bit more support in putting this together because maybe you have multiple offers, maybe you're newer to business, or maybe you're ready for like a complete overhaul because you've been trying to push these offers for a while and it hasn't been successful. We always encourage you to reach out to us. You can DM us, you can put me in the chat, and we will reach out to you so that we can help you develop your value ladder. I was actually on a call with someone just last week, and I was like, bro, we can get on a power hour coaching session and knock this out. Like, this is not something that we got to spend weeks and weeks on. Like, literally, we could do an hour call, knock this out, give you an action plan, and you'll be on your way, right? So not everything needs a long process. I will tell people, I always say, if you need more than one power hour coaching session a month, you're probably ready for a coaching program. Let's start with a power hour coaching session. It's 1 hour, it's $200, and it solves one big problem that you're facing in your business. Not much to lose there. Before we leave, I believe starting Wednesday, I want to say, I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday, you guys will be able to chart. Looking for my linky. Hold on. There we go. I'm just going to be small on the screen because I can't find the little button. But starting probably Wednesday, I believe it is, because we're just working out a couple little things. You will be able to get your tickets to the Implementation Lab Live. This is going to be our virtual summit for this year. There is a free ticket option, so there is no barrier to your success. You get all of the live sessions. It's over 2 days, again, completely free. We have some amazing speakers coming up. I told you, Coffee Speakers about to close because we got a bomb lineup already. So please be ready for that. There is a VIP option. As a matter of fact, let me share my screen here so you guys can see. Let me see. I should be able to push the button. There we go. And I'm going to take myself off the screen. I realized what I did. I moved my notes and now you can't see. Give me 1 second. There we go. I'm going to make it bigger on the screen for you guys. All right. So yes, you'll be able to purchase your ticket. We're going to give you a link to this page because people are going to have questions. You guys always do. But this will answer pretty much every question you have. It'll tell you it's for your women and business owners, especially coaches and consultants. I got a cute video for you. I'm not going to play it tonight, but you will be able to learn more about the event. You'll understand why you should be there, when it is, October 18th and 19th. Again, it's completely virtual. You'll be able to learn all the information, the different types of things we're going to be covering. Once we put the speaker's information out, you'll be able to see that as well. You'll learn a little bit more about me and kind of why I am doing this. And then you'll also be able to understand like what you guys are going to get out of it. Again, I kind of told you in the beginning, it's implementation focused. So every speaker is required to give you an implementation focused session, meaning yes, we're going to laugh, we're going to have the feelings and all of that, but you're going to leave with implementation tasks to do in different areas around sales, around marketing, around making sure you have balance and boundaries in your business, and lots more. Okay, so you again have 2 options. Let me just scroll down to your options here. Guys, we gave you a lot of information just in case, because I don't like people having to ask me a lot of questions. I'm like, hey, I got you. All right, so again, we're going to tell you the what, the when, the where, the why, and then you're going to be able to pick at what level you want to join us. So you can go ahead and join us for free. Again, you're going to still get all the live sessions, but you can also upgrade to VIP to get bonus sessions and lots more along with the replays, because it is a lot. We're going to have a lot of speakers, so I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. We also are going to be giving a lot of information, and I get sometimes you can kind of be overloaded. So I always encourage you to get VIP so that you can go back and rewatch those videos over and over and over to ensure that you got this down packed. And sometimes, truthfully, things that you get, like the information is great, but you may not be at that spot just now. And the ability to go back and rewatch the session when you're actually ready to implement those steps is always amazing as well. So again, you get the replays, bonus sessions, and a lot more with the VIP. But again, there is a free option. So there's no way you're going to lose there. All right. So that'll be available to you guys soon. Again, just stay tuned. I believe. There we go. I was like, I'm trying to come on screen. I believe we will be launching ticket sales on Wednesday. Now, limited seating, even though it's virtual. If you've ever done an event, you understand that every platform has a limit. There is a limited amount of seats for this virtual event for VIP and for general admission. So please do not wait. Again, with the free option, it's like, hey, you got nothing to lose. Go ahead and claim it. But again, there are no replays for the general admission. They are only for the VIP. So don't think you're going to get a general ticket and then be like, hey, I'm not coming. And not do it. I purposely picked that we're not going to start till 10 a.m. because I know people on the West Coast are like, they're not trying to get up early on a Saturday and Sunday like that, like super early. Because I know a lot of the East Coast events will start at like 8 in the morning. And I know that's dirt early for you guys. So I said 10 a.m. and it goes from about 10 to 6 Eastern Standard Time. And again, if you got VIP, then hey, if you really feel like sleeping in, I don't recommend that you could. You can always go back, but I suggest you be live so that you can have a chance to, ask questions and engage with our amazing speakers. All right, that is it for tonight, you guys. Thank you for joining me. This actually made me feel a little bit better. All right, I'm happy that I didn't cancel, even though I know I never will. I be thinking about it, y'all. I'm human. I was laying down in the dark earlier, like, oh, my head hurt. I'm gonna cancel. I can't. Like, they're not gonna be mad at me one time in 3 years. And then I was like, I'm gonna do it. All right. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Remember, we're here every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here to make sure that you are getting things done in your business. I will see you next Monday. Remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock. I'll see you next time. In the journey of entrepreneurship, success is often about having the right guidance and tools at your fingertips. Welcome to iRock Marketable Business Solutions, your compass to business excellence. We understand that as a service-based small business owner, your path to success is unique. That's why iRock offers a wide range of coaching and consulting services tailored to your needs. Imagine gaining the knowledge you need from the comfort of your own home. Explore our quick on-demand webinars, courses, and toolkits designed to accelerate your business growth. But we go beyond that. Join our vibrant community in our group coaching programs, or experience personalized guidance with our one-on-one coaching and consulting services. At iRock, every program comes with incredible bonuses. These bonuses are designed to support you on your journey, helping you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Some of our bonuses include expert speaker sessions, group Q&A calls, guides, checklists, scripts, and more. Ready to supercharge your business journey? Explore our coaching and consulting services. Get the guidance and tools you need to reach your goals. Empower your business with iRock Marketable Business Solutions.